Guys, welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to the show, and I'm joined in studio with Irish fighter Darragh Kelly, four-time Irish champion MMA fighter. Darragh, how are you feeling? How are you doing? How are things?
Everything's good with me. As I was just saying, now coming to the end of camp, so last hard push, and then we get to have the fun part.
But I mean, I'll start with the most obvious question that's going to be on everyone's lips, especially be on your mind. Your upcoming bout at Bellator on the 14th of September, up against trying to pronounce his name. Is it Dimitri Hiristenko? Sounds like a Bulgarian name or so.
Yeah, I've been doing butchering his name as well. I'll just say Dimitri. Yeah.
Uh, what do you make of your opponent, and then how do you see the fight going? As in, what's your game plan?
Yeah, he's obviously a solid opponent. Like, he's undefeated as well. He's 9-0. He has a win over my teammate Daniel Scatizzi, who's a solid fighter himself. So, the guy's no joke. His style, he's a clean kickboxer. Seems to outpoint his opponents more than, he doesn't have any crazy one shot knockout power or anything, but he is very sound defensively and offensively, of course.
Look, your fight record, I mean, not just talking about your professional fight record, but even for people see that they'll see your amateur fight record is really, really impressive. No one has managed to touch you, as in when I say touch you, to defeat you. So like you're unstoppable. I mean, can you talk a bit about that? Because that's really, really good.
Well, I don't think too much about it. I take one fight at a time. I take everyone I fight very seriously, and I make I put in 100% effort no matter who I'm fighting, and I try and make a bit of a game plan for everyone I'm fighting. So it's worked so far. 14 finishes, 15 wins, no defeats. So hopefully we'll add one more to that now in 3 weeks.
The fight card itself, taking place in Bellator on the 14th of September. I mean, you're going to be on that fight card, but is there any other bout there that does get your attention that you're also keen to see?
Well, of course, my teammate Kieran Clark's fighting, so he's looking to go 10-0.
Yes.
So I'm obviously very excited to see that. He's got a tough opponent as well, with a good record. It's a rematch, isn't it? The main event with Eblin and Edwards. So that's an interesting one for sure. And then Mark Chikadze's, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing his name right, but his debut in the promotion as well. That'll be exciting. I think it's a good card overall. I think there's only like nine fights, but every one of them is worth tuning in for. So, and I'm lucky enough I get to open the card and then I can
Oh, yeah, of
sit back
course.
and enjoy the rest of the night. So it's perfect. Hmm.
Um, Look, it's the first one me speaking to you, and I do this with every fight and every combat sports affiliate that I speak to. But your own personal story and background, how did you get into combat sports and then mixed martial arts?
Well, I got into it very late. Started when I was 18. No, I only played football before that really. Took that quite serious up until about 16. Done nothing for a couple of years sports wise, and thought it was time to give something new a go and had an interest in fighting and MMA. So I just went. I took if I get an idea, I go for it, and this was my big idea out of nowhere. So I just went from it from day one, trained 2 3 times every day. The last what's that now coming on? Would it be 7? Coming on 8 years. So I've just went for it from day one.
And so far, it's been a very, very, very successful. Done very, very well so far.
Mm. It's down to the people around me too. Like, I started off in a good club in Donegal, where I'm from, in the up north of Ireland. I started in the jiu-jitsu school, and from day one, they put a lot of one-on-one time into me and a lot of effort. So that gave me the good base then to once I did move down to Dublin and stuff. I've got plenty of attention along the way. So
Um, I just wanted to touch briefly on your nickname, the Mobile Mall. I mean, watching you fight, especially in your last fights, You might say most people would say yes, obvious where he gets that nickname from. But I mean, asking you and getting the information from the horse's mouth. I mean, where did that nickname come from? How did it end up sticking?
I don't know if I'm too keen on the nickname myself now. It's pretty obvious, as you says, I'm from Maville and my style is heavy pressure. So I think it was actually Jordan Fury, one of my teammates, put it on me. It's where I'm from, so the Maville Mauler. He put it on me and it stuck.
And watching your last performance at again at Bellator against the French guy whose name slips my mind right now, which is
Max
what I
Holloway.
hate. Yes, that's it. The way you pinned him down and got into that guillotine chokehold, and then
Mm.
you may not like how I say this, or people may say it's a bit cringy for me to say, but you kind of crawled out from underneath his body like it was a lifeless corpse or something.
Yeah, I know. I was watching it back. That's what it was. He went to sleep on top of me, so I
Yeah.
didn't want to be a dickhead and just shove him off either, but didn't want to be stuck underneath him too long.
Um, your fight team, your gym, SBG Ireland, and your coach, John Kavanagh. Can you talk a bit
Mm.
about that place? I mean, of course, it needs no introduction. They've got big representatives, big names, McBrand, Conor McGregor is right up there. But can you talk about any other talents that we should be keeping a lookout for that's coming up in the ranks at all?
There's that many to touch on. Hey, God, I don't even know how many's on the pro team. There could be 50 or 60 active. You probably know a lot of the bigger names, so I'll touch on a few guys coming up. We have Jordan Fury. He's 2-0 as a pro. If you watch his highlights, he's got a lot of knockouts through amateur and two vicious knockouts at pro. He has massive power in his left hands. He's southpaw. Um, I think he's a man to watch out for, and he's always very exciting. Uh, Darrow Sullivan. I think he's looking just to turn pro now. Um, he's a background in Thai fighting, Thai boxing, and I think he's probably, in my opinion, he's right up there with the best strikers coming out of SBG, and I think he could go a long way. Um, and then we have Claudio Pacella, who joined us, an Italian guys from Rome. He just beat Mark Ewan in Glasgow, and I think he's a wee bit. Well, he's come out a bit after that fight, but he was under the radar before that, and I think he's a problem for anyone at lightweight. So there's three names to come out.
With the sort of record you have, had a single loss, you've been champion 4 times, and you're still very young. You're fighting in
Mm.
Bellator, which is one of the main mixed martial arts promotion in the world. Uh, would you say you still, as in, though, again, this might be an obvious question, obvious answer that you give me, but do you still, or do you want to still fight in the UFC, or are you happy where you are?
Well, obviously, when you're starting out, you always dream of fighting in the UFC, like, but made my debut with Bellator, and ever since that now, and even since PFL's taken over, they've took my full contract. I have 3 fights left in this contract, and I'm happy with the pay. I'm happy with how they're treating me, and it seems since PFL's taken over now that they will keep me active. So I need to make a living out of this too. So at the minute I'm pretty happy where I am. Like, but never say never. In the future, who knows?
What advice would you give to any younger and newer fighters who are coming onto the scene?
We were just starting out.
That's it, yeah.
Mm.
I
It's a
know I
long
know
hot.
I know you're smiling, but I mean when people look at your fight record, they naturally they're gonna ask you for advice. I mean, what is it you're doing that you get you all the wins, mindset, nutrition, or just everything just to come out successful every time you leave the octagon?
I think there's more than one way to skin a cat. Like, but main thing is if you're doing this, like, you have to be all in. There's no half-assness. Like, you'll become nothing if you're in fucking about in this game. Like, your nutrition, your cardio, your strength and conditioning, your technique. Those are 5 disciplines you're going to have to touch on. You have to put on 100%. You have to be 100% dedicated. Like, you know, this it's not even a sport in my opinion. Like fighting comes first. Everything you do in your life has to push you forward in this game. Like um, and if you can dedicate yourself 100% for a long period of time, you're going to get good results. But you need to be willing to be 100% in. Like
And the run up to fight day, as in would be the case now. Um, just is there anything that you think of that you just keep at the back of your mind that just keeps you going, no matter what might happen as the day goes by, as the clock counts down to the September 14th. Is there any sort of figurehead that you think of in your mind that it just keeps pushing you mentally forward?
um, well, there is a few small things. Like of course your fight person, all that there, but I think the main thing that drives me is I don't want to feel that feeling of losing. Like so anytime I don't want to go and do a sprint session or I don't want to spar, I know I'm putting money in the bank to avoid that feeling at all costs. So I'm doing everything I can just to not have to go through that and keep life easy for another wee while. Like sacrifice today so tomorrow will be handy.
Yes, yes, no, I like that. I like that a lot.
Mm.
Um, Last but by no means least, are there any shout outs you'd like to give and any fighters you'd like to call out?
I need to get a few names here. I need to go and study the division or something because everyone asks me, I never have a fucking name for them. Uh, well, just shout out to all my sponsors. I'm not going to start naming them in case I forget any, but all my sponsors who are behind me, that makes life that bit easier. Like, I suppose my training partners too are pushing me, and all my coaches. That's really it.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, Dara. I know that you're very busy because as well as preparing for your fight, you're also coaching and training other guys as well. Um, it's a bit early to ask this, but what are the plans in after 14th of September? Um, what happens after? As in any other fight that you already have in the works at all? Is it too soon to start discussing or asking about that?
No, I take one fight at a time. Like, now maybe if they offered me one beforehand, I might have considered it or taken it. But my plan after this fight's just enjoy a week or two, and then I'm gonna go to Thailand for the end of the year. Brush up my Muay Thai for a while, we change the scenery, be refreshed, come home for Christmas, and ready to go again next year and do it all over again. So,
Yeah, I like that. That is excellent. That's great. That's one place that every fighter has mentioned that you have to go there at least once if you really want to get into the groove and spirit of things, MMA wise.
I went
Um,
out last year for 6 weeks, me and Nathan Kelly, and everyone says it, but it really is a fighter's paradise. Like, you're out there training 2, 3 times a day, lying on the beach in between sessions, and it's cheap to live. Everyone's in good forms, good weather, and it's a completely new environment too. So that's why I like it. It freshens everything up for you. Instead of being
yeah,
in the same spot all year round,
yeah.
uh, you get some good work and a different outlook on things.
Dara, thank you for coming on the show. Guys, if you did enjoy the episode, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. And don't forget to turn on notifications while on uploading new content, whether it's shorts or podcasts. If you did listen to this on Spotify, don't forget you can catch other audio versions on Google and on iTunes as well. Dara, once again, thank you for coming on, and definitely we'll be having you back on the show very soon, I'm sure.
All right, thanks very much. Good luck.
Thank you. Take care.